Hello. Today I am going to show you how to use the online comic maker Pixton to create a comic strip. Once you have logged in and proceeded to the page where you can design your comic strip, you can get started. First and foremost, what you want to do is you want to put a title to your comic strip. I'm simply going to call mine Bowling. Next, what you want to do is you want to determine how many panels you would like your comic to be. For my purposes, I'm going to have 4 panels in total. In order to add more panels, you simply click on the Add Panel icon. And you keep doing that until you have as many panels as you need. Next, you're going to click on panel number 1. And then you're going to proceed to choose a background. You do this by clicking on the Add Background icon. Once you've clicked on it, you will see that Pixton provides you with a lot of preset backgrounds. You can either scroll through until you find a background you like, or if you know what kind of background you like, you can conduct a search by typing in your background where it says keywords. For the purposes of my comic strip, I am going to add or choose the bowling alley. After I've picked the bowling alley, I can choose different areas within the bowling alley to start off my comic strip, including the parking lot, the bar/restaurant, and even the bowling alley lane. I'm going to choose the bowling alley lane. Once I have chosen my background, I can modify it by zooming in or out using the little lever to the right hand side. I can zoom in or I can zoom out. If I do not like how the background looks after I've zoomed in or out, I merely have to click on the undo icon over on the left hand side to bring it back. For the purposes of my comic strip, I am going to zoom out just a little bit more. Next, I am going to add a character into my comic strip. To do that, I click on the Add Character icon. You'll get a list of preset characters. Again, you can scroll through until you find a character you like, or you can merely perform a search to find a character of your choice. So I'm looking for a bowler. Pixton provides me with 2 bowling characters. I am going to choose one. Now that I've added my character into my panel, I can now move her and manipulate her in a number of different ways. For starters, if I click on her once until the blue box appears, I am now able to move her anywhere I would like in my panel. I can also make her bigger or smaller by clicking on the blue square. I can also tilt her to the right or to the left by clicking and dragging on the right circle. If I want to manipulate my character's pose, I'm going to double click on her until I get these green icons. At this point, I can click and drag any of my character's body parts in order to manipulate her, like I'm doing by lifting the arm, lifting the leg, moving the hips, like so. If I find it too hard to manipulate my character this way, I can go down to this icon entitled Preset Poses, and I can search through and I can choose a pose for my character that I deem acceptable. I can also perform a search. For this purpose, I'm going to choose the stooping pose. Once the character is in the correct position, I can click on her again until the blue box appears, and I can position her where I want her. So I want her over here to make it look like she's actually picking up that bowling ball. Now, in order to add a text bubble into my comic strip, I'm going to go over to the icon entitled Add Text and click on it. From there, you can see a speech bubble appears, and I have the ability to write what I want to say in it. I'm going to write, "Here is my lucky bowling ball." Now, if I click outside of the speech bubble and then click in it again until I get that blue box, I can now move my speech bubble closer to my character so it actually looks like she is the one saying the message. Now, if I want to, I can add a prop into my comic strip. I can do that by clicking on the Add Prop icon to the left-hand side. Again, I can scroll through until I find a prop, or I could narrow down my search by category, or I can perform a search. I'm going to look up a bowling ball. Once I find the prop that I want, I double click it and it will appear on my comic strip. Again, just like with my character, if I click on the prop, I get that blue box around it, and I can now move it wherever I like to in the panel. I can make it as big or as small as I'd like, or I can tilt it by clicking on the right circle. If I decide that I do not want to add a prop into this panel, I can get rid of it by clicking the undo button until it is gone. I have now completed the first panel of my comic strip. In order to save my work, I am going to move my cursor to this green check mark entitled Save Panel and click on it. To move on to the next panel, you merely click on it, and again you would follow the same procedure of adding your background, your characters, your prop, your speech bubbles, etc. Once you have completed your comic strip, you will have something that looks like this. When you finish your comic strip, you will want to both save and publish it. To do this, you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you click Save Changes, and it takes you to another screen. Once you're on this screen, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to see that Pixton has provided you with a link. You can use this link to share your comics with others. This link is especially important for teachers who have instructed their students to create a comic strip for school. The easiest way for your students to submit their completed comic strip will be to copy and paste this link into an email and send it to you. This will allow you to mark their assignment easier. That effectively brings us to the end of this short introductory tutorial on how to use Pixton. I hope you found my video to be helpful and informative.